just want to talk about chord melody for a second. So harmonizing a melody that seemed really very complicated for a long time, and it still can be hard. And one of the exercises I really like to do is to take a tune and then just harmonize every note of it. And if you can do that, or if you work on that, it will help you so much for so many things, like for example for comping or also for improvising, because it really makes clear how harmonic relationships work. And for example, if you think about comping more like you're playing a melody, right? You're thinking about the top note of the chord as a melody, and then you're harmonizing that melody, then your comping is going to head in a totally other direction, as instead of thinking, okay, there's C major 7 on the paper, I have to play C major 7, then you're going to play one shape, and then you're going to play the next shape in the moment where the next chord symbol appears. But as you might know, the great pianists and guitarists who accompany, they don't play one chord when there's one chord symbol and 3 chords when there are 3 chord symbols, but they're playing as many chords as they are needed at the moment. They are responding to the soloist, they're playing into the spaces they are leaving. And to be able to do that, I think you just have to have sort of like a vocabulary of chords that you can use. And I, for myself, I just can say I built that vocabulary. Not that I'm the greatest composer, I have a lot of things I have to work on, but anyways, you can build it when you're working on chord melody arrangement. So you can check out my chord melody arrangement, but also really try to do your own chord melody arrangement. It will help you a lot. And also, if somebody asks you if you could play something, then you have something at hand, because I think that's a situation, maybe not in the moment, but normally that's a situation we all run into. And to have something in your pocket, sort of, you just can like, look, I can play this, and you're feeling secure about it, and you don't have to improvise crazy bebop lines all of a sudden. That can be a help. So anyways, I hope you're doing fine. Don't forget to buy my PDF, and I see you. Bye. Yes. And anyways, I made a discovery. So you probably know there's 3 possible ways. Oh man, okay. 3 possible ways how you can pick, right? You can pick from the fingers, from the wrist, and from the elbow. And depending on the speed, you're using different parts of your body. And I always thought, for some reason, the faster you get, the smaller the movement gets, right? So if you're playing really fast, you would be sort of playing very fast in your fingers, which of course doesn't make any sense, because this movement, as you can see, is not very stable, and this movement is so stable. So now I'm starting to sound like Pat Martino, but anyways, it doesn't matter, because I'm getting so much faster using this from the elbow instead of and I'm working on the conception, and I have had some enlightenment on using my elbow. Also, I got that exercise from Kurt Rosenwinkel, who told me about on the workshop. I don't know if he talked about it in the workshop, but it's in the PDF. It's an exercise that is called pendulum. And basically what you're thinking is you're picking one string, and you're like, like a pendulum in a clock, in a big clock. You're going into the middle of the next string, or I can't explain it, and then back. So the pick doesn't really work at all, and you're just playing like this. Oh, now my strap went off. Another chaotic video by Tina Jekyll. And then the exercise is very simple, actually. It's like, and then just, okay. So just concentrating on that elbow movement. Try it out. So good morning, here I am. I have been practicing day number 2 of my practice challenge of 100 days. Still practicing the Kurt Rosenwinkel solo, and I have to tell you, yeah, so imposter syndrome is really high at the moment. I think, as far as I understand myself, is because I'm thinking I'm not able to play it. I will never be able to play it if it's not in the original tempo, which I know is not so important, but I have sort of a minority complex regarding speed, and I know that I have been getting faster in the last years. That's really crazy because if you think about it, I'm 47 years old. You should be thinking you're not getting faster anymore if you're older, but it's just not true. It's still so much to learn. You can still learn so much. I read somewhere that the speed of learning between the age of 25 and 65 is more or less the same speed. So I know, and I'm learning a lot, but you know, I'm also full of self-doubt, and yeah, I know that I'm getting in that mood that I'm in at the moment. If I have something to accomplish, that it raises the bar for me. So it's just me being afraid of challenging myself. But thank you, my audience, yeah, again, because I won't let you down, and that sort of creates pressure on me. So hello, I want to talk about this book that has been extremely important for me, and I'm coming back to it all the time. And I want to talk about one chapter. It's about finding a mentor, right? Having somebody who helps you getting better, and I think that's so important. And so my mentor at the moment is somehow Kurt Rosenwinkel. So I don't have any lessons with him, but I did do all those master classes. I have them in a folder and I'm coming back to them. I'm doing the videos about him, and sometimes I'm feeling like, really Tina, Kurt Rosenwinkel again. I'm feeling like, oh my goodness. But yes, it seems to be the thing for me at the moment. I'm learning so much, and he can articulate so many things that I only can hardly be thinking, and that if you can follow me, that helps me a lot. Anyways, I read in that book. I like to read in my books that bring me in a good mood in the evenings. So there's a story about Glenn Gould, and he had a teacher, he's called Alberto Guerrero, and he was like a very good teacher. And Glenn Gould, you know, the piano player, he went to him, and every time Alberto gave him some new ideas or homework. For example, one day he brought him the music of Schoenberg, and Glenn Gould like totally dismissed it and didn't do it, and then the teacher dropped the subject, and all those suggestions about how he would be playing the piano, how to use the hand and everything, it seemed like Glenn Gould wouldn't accept the advices of his teachers. And so years later, it turned out that he worked on really like every advice his teacher has been given to him. He also, I think, wrote some music or etudes in the style of Arnold Schoenberg. And I find that so interesting because here in the book what they are saying is, because, you know, Glenn Gould, he didn't want to become his teacher, he wanted to be his own person. So Glenn Gould would listen to all of Guerrero's ideas about music and try them out. In the course of playing, he would subtly alter these ideas to suit his own inclinations. This would make him feel that he had his own voice. And you know, that's a thing I can relate to so much, because sometimes when I'm in the real presence of a very good player, you know, going to a club, or sorry for the noise in the background, it's the Müllabfuhr. So I would go to a club and meet somebody who could play really very well, maybe even talk to him or even play with that person. I would feel like I would be like a totally nobody, and I would like crumble to dust, you know. And I realized that can't be healthy for my own development. So I need to find a way that I can still be myself. Even there are other great players, but there's no Tina Jekyll, right? And there's no other you, and we all have different things that we can bring to the table, and they're all unique. We can all work on our craft and do our own thing. And I think working on that mindset as well, of realizing that especially in jazz music, it's really about the own voice. Think about Thelonious Monk, all those musicians, they sort of used the knowledge that they had and turned it into their own thing. So that's what I want to say today, and I hope you're doing fine, and see you tomorrow. Bye.